I'm Kinsey from Authentic AI, and this is the AI for Entrepreneurs presentation. We're gonna just kind of start from scratch, and I will be answering all your questions, but in this workshop, hopefully I can keep my cell phone flat so it doesn't churn or anything. In this training, we're gonna be talking about just kind of overcoming the AI scaries, because I know a lot of people can feel kind of hesitant when we start to use them and have concerns such as ethical stuff or are robots going to take over the world. So we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about getting started with AI tools just in general and dive a little bit into ChatGPT, amplifying your brand with AI instead of replacing it, because that's one of those important things when it comes to my brand, Authentic AI. And I just think important in general to continue to see success online as an entrepreneur. And then I will have a Q&A at the end, so feel free to ask me all the dumb questions, all the thoughtful questions, whatever that looks like, I'm here for it. So just a little bit about me. I'm Kinsey, and I've been in the entrepreneurship game for 5+ years now, which is crazy. And I do have 2 podcasts, the Feel Good Social podcast and the Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs podcast. Those are my 2 sister brands as well. So if you ever hear me talking about Feel Good Social or Authentic AI, at this point, I'm just calling them sister brands and we're going with it. But I started Feel Good Social to help down-to-earth entrepreneurs show up authentically online in a way that feels good to you without wasting your time or losing your mind, which is really nice because it rhymes, you know. Also, if you guys can't hear me, let me know because I can speak up a little bit. But then about a year ago, I kind of started dipping my toes into the AI world myself, and I've decided to figure out how we can use AI in a way that aligns with us and works for us, right? Because if anyone has started dipping their toes into AI, it can feel very overwhelming. It can feel very frustrating. All of a sudden there's all these tools that everyone is talking about all the time, and you're like, oh great, now I have to learn all of this stuff, and you end up kind of getting sucked into that snowball of the AI world. That's not what we're about. So we'll be talking about that today. And also, I'm an Enneagram 7, if you're into it. I know Kira's one too. I have lived in Colorado, Indiana, and Montana. I have 3 dogs and 1 husband. I'm a self-proclaimed word nerd, so you'll hear me talking a lot about honing your authentic brand of voice with ChatGPT, because I get super nerdy when it comes to words. I'm a skier, and I'm an actual nerd as well, because I like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter too. So, I think I'm okay. Yeah, as long as I don't use my hands too much, I'll be like, woo. Okay. So my journey with AI, I'll be honest, when I first heard about AI technology, I was a total curmudgeon about it. Like, cue Mr. Wilson from Dennis the Menace, like grandpa voice, like, what is this going to do to our creativity and critical thinking? Like, isn't the internet already fake enough as it is? You know, are robots going to take over the world? I was like not into it. And then I was driving in the car listening to a podcast, and this lady was talking about ChatGPT, and I had this realization that I was just kind of afraid of change. I was feeling like overwhelmed. I didn't know what this was going to mean for my business or the future of entrepreneurship in the world. And so I was like, the best thing I can do is kind of turn toward it, get curious about it, and figure out how we can make it work for us, right, as entrepreneurs, kind of bring my feel-good social approach to AI. So that's when Authentic AI was born, and we really just believe in using it in the most authentic and strategic way, right? So how to get over the AI scaries. If you're anything like me, I kind of already mentioned this, like, I felt all the things. When I first heard about AI, I was mostly actually worried about our creativity and critical thinking skills. I was afraid it was going to just make us all sound like sheep, you know, and robots, and just get rid of our originality online. I was just frustrated that I have to learn one more thing as an entrepreneur and also have to choose the technology and probably pay for something more. I don't want to do any of that. And then, of course, I'm afraid a little bit of kind of a Terminator future, so to say. For sure, we all grew up with the sci-fi movies, and you know, it's kind of one of those things. I call myself melodramatic whenever I talk about it, but it's legitimately concerning, right? And so it's something that we really need to like address instead of just like hiding from it. So my personal shifts when it comes to getting over the fear of AI is for the will this make my brand less authentic? Really what I remind myself all the time is I am the gatekeeper of my brand, and however I use AI technology, whatever output it gives me, I have control over what I share with the world, right? So like really it's not going to make my brand less authentic because I'm not going to allow it to. You know, and if anything, the reason that I'm leaning into authenticity online now is going to make my brand stand out even more, which is really cool. Is AI going to hinder our creativity and critical thinking skills? I was so mad about this, guys. It took me a while to get over it until I started using ChatGPT and AI tools. And really, once you start using them and just dipping your toes into them, you'll find out how amazing this technology is for boosting your creativity and critical thinking skills, right? So if you're ever running into writer's block or like idea block, creator's block, where you're just like wanting to bang your head against the keyboard, or you can't think of a specific word, or you're like, I don't want to say this sentence in this way, but I don't know how else to say it, like that's when AI tools can really come in handy, and you just get so much done more quickly without having to run into those blocks where you're like banging your head against the wall, and it's horrible, right? Also, the critical thinking skills is really interesting for me because this is so nerdy. I was opinions editor at our student newspaper at Purdue. And so I just get so, did you? Yeah. Spoiler, girl. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the exponent. Yeah, we will. But yeah, I love looking at copy. I love looking at ideas and thinking critically about them and being like, does this reflect my brand? Is this what I think? Like, is this what I believe? Like, how can I shift this to make it better and sound more like me? How can I shift this to reflect my brand's opinions better? And so I think critical thinking skills are improved too if you're using these platforms in that way, right? And that's what I want to encourage you to do today, is to really think about the outputs that you're getting from software like ChatGPT and make sure that it's aligning with you and stuff, which is really cool. Okay. Is AI is just one more thing I've got to learn for my business. Man, there are so many softwares out there that are AI technology. There's so many different ways that you can use AI in your business. And you know, it can feel overwhelming, the learning curve, the decision making, the frustration with the results that you're getting. Like, no, it can feel so overwhelming. But what I really want to encourage you to do is to, you know, start small, take baby steps, and figure out how you can fit AI technology into your workflows that you already have established and make it work for you in the best way, instead of feeling like you have to all of a sudden have AI do every stinking thing for you, right? Because that's the best way to do it. And honestly too, if you start kind of getting curious about AI and you start following other AI experts online or anything, there's a lot of AI pushers out there, guys, and they're like going to be telling you about all the shiny new tools, and they're going to be giving you like 100 prompts to use with ChatGPT and all that different stuff. But the thing is that it could be really overwhelming really quickly. And so I really want to encourage you today to like keep in mind that you're in control over how you use AI, and you don't have to use it for everything, right? And then our robot's gonna take over the world. You know, here's the thing. AI is a super new technology. Oh, sorry. AI is super new and it's not going anywhere, and it is kind of scary, right? And a lot of people with a lot of money have control over this software and are making it available to the good, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, we don't have a lot of control over AI technology, but we can be involved in the conversation as it's evolving right now, currently happening. And so that's always what I remind myself whenever I get afraid of like Terminator stuff, you know, is that like we can be involved in the conversations that are happening about it right now. We can get curious about it. We can learn how to use it for us And we can also encourage conversation with the people around us about this stuff, right? Like I've been talking with my mom about AI technology a lot, and she is a computer teacher at a middle school. And she the other day shared that she was able to like stand up in a meeting with teachers and like share her opinions on AI tools and students using them and what should we be talking about and encouraging, because like she knows I've just been yapping her ear off about AI, guys. But you know, it's that sort of thing. It's not just like your peers, it's like your parents, your brothers, your sisters, like your community. The more we can just like normalize conversations and be involved in conversations about it, the more we can evolve this into the future that we want to see for it, right? So those are my takes on the AI scaries, but I'd love to hear if anyone has any other thoughts after the presentation. I'm totally down for all your guys' opinions about all this stuff. Okay, so getting started with AI tools, I've kind of mentioned a few of this stuff, but these are the things I just really want to remind you, because it can be so easy. All the shoulds, like shouldn't all over the place in the AI world is real, right? So start small and try not to overcomplicate it or feel like you just need to overwhelm yourself and fully revamp all of your workflows and all of your tasks and all the different stuff, right? I really want you to think about what is like one thing that AI can help me with today? You know, what is one task that I would love help with in my business that AI might be able to help me with, and start there. Slowly start getting used to the technology and then kind of start integrating it more into your workflows in other ways. Also, integrate AI into your own workflows and needs. It's the best way that I've found. So, you know, people will tell me to use AI for this, or you guys use AI for this. My podcast editing. I'm like, dude, I don't want to use AI for my podcast editing. I'm sorry, it doesn't give me the quality I want, you know? But, you know, I just went to a podcast conference last summer. Everyone is pushing AI so hard. I was like, okay, don't at me, bro, anymore. I'm fine. But you know, but what I do use it for, I use ChatGPT every freaking day to organize my own opinions. As an Enneagram 7, I got a lot of ideas. I need to get them out. I tell them to ChatGPT and it helps me organize my thoughts, you know. I use it, I actually do use it to analyze my podcast transcripts, sorry. I use it to write social media captions, emails, create my online courses, like all the different things, because that's what works for me, right? So how do you want to use it in your business? And then always use a human-first approach with AI technology. This is one of those things that I don't think people are talking about enough. So when you start diving into the AI online community, a lot of people will be giving you 50 prompts to use for whatever, you know, or they'll be pushing specific AI tools that you need to be using and all the different stuff. But none of these prompts are really starting first with you as the human. And so it's really, really important. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but it's really important to bring your own ideas and start with your brand, your human opinions when you're using these tools, because that's how you'll get the best responses out of them. That's how you'll keep your brand authentic, and that's how you will do better in the online space, especially where everyone is using AI tools and not training ChatGPT or these tools on their brand, right? So if you can start with your own brand, opinions, values, personality, ideas, the best way I've used ChatGPT is to bring my own brain dump and put it into ChatGPT and be like, okay, now help me write something, help me organize this and do an outline, you know, do all that stuff, versus write a blog post for me about X topic. It's like, no, if you can bring your own stuff first, that's how you won't get those generic responses that were obviously written by ChatGPT. And then always consider your values, ethics, privacy, legal considerations. We can totally dive more into this into the Q&A if you want to, but because I have a lot of thoughts for sure. But always make sure that you're using it in a way that aligns with your brand first and your own values. That can look different for everyone. I'm not going to tell you what that looks like, but remember who you are and what you believe in, and use AI tools in that way. And that's the best you can do right now, you know. Ethics, oh man, you know, once again, kind of aligned with values. There's different ways, different ethical considerations that we can take when it comes to using AI. The plagiarism thing is an interesting one, but you know, we can talk about opinions, but things to think about. Privacy is something that we all need to consider. Different AI tools have different privacy policies. ChatGPT specifically, it can access anything that you put into ChatGPT, and it can use that information to train its future software. So, whenever you're putting something into, especially generative software like ChatGPT, you don't want to share passwords or, share, always get your client's consent, if you're using any of their stuff. And also, if you have a crazy original idea that you don't want ChatGPT to learn and you don't want other people stealing, then don't use it. Although myself, I'm like, whatever, what is an original idea? But there was like a lawsuit going on about that recently-ish. But, and then the legal issues. So I actually interviewed a copyright lawyer on my podcast, and we were talking about, we kind of covered the plagiarism thing just a little bit, but she was also bringing up is AI-assisted content still protected by copyright, right? And so it's really interesting to think about these things. And the thing is, they're continuing to evolve every day, guys. We're in the middle of it, right? So all you can do is kind of be thoughtful about this stuff. Maybe try to stay up to date if you can and get curious about it, and try to protect yourself as much as possible. What this copyright lawyer did tell me is that at this point, you are able to have copyright protection with AI-assisted content as long as you can prove that it is mainly human-driven, the idea behind it and the copy, right? As long as you can prove that it is an original thought created by you, you should still have copyright protection over that content. Really interesting. I also read an article this morning that the same kind of thoughts are being applied to patents as well. So AI cannot receive a patent itself. It needs to be a human who's getting a patent. But yeah, if you're using AI to create some sort of invention, then you need to make sure that you are the person behind the thought, which is really interesting. Okay, can you guys tell I get really nerdy about this stuff? Okay, so my favorite tool that I use every day is ChatGPT. I'm glad you guys kind of mentioned that and we're talking about it. There's a few other ones for sure that are generative like this. Bard, you might have heard of. It's like Google's version of ChatGPT, and they're rebranding to Gemini as of this week. So be aware of that. There's also one called Claude. Jasper is an AI technology too. And these are all generative, pre-trained transformers is the dorky way to say it, but just GPTs is fine. But basically what it is a chatbot that you can have a conversation back and forth with. And it can help you do so many things in your business. A lot of people already mentioned a bunch of stuff. Usually people think of using it for copywriting specifically, but there's so many more capabilities that these softwares have. ChatGPT is super easy to use. It's free to sign up. There is a premium version. We can talk about the difference between that if you guys want to, but ask me in the Q&A if you're curious. But yeah, basically it's chat.openai.com or Google ChatGPT. And you'll find it. But yeah, and this is what it looks like. It's as easy as just AOL Messenger, with a robot on the other side, which is kind of cool. I have definitely asked ChatGPT for a pep talk before in my business. I'm also very polite to it, just in case robots take over the world, right? Yeah. So, yeah, please and thank you. But, it's super easy to start. If you guys haven't tried it, just open one up, just type your hi, I'm whatever into the chat window, just start a conversation, and you'll see how easy it is to use. So when it comes to ChatGPT, a few golden rules that you guys need to know and always remember is, firstly, ChatGPT is not always correct. It's not always factual. It's not always right for your brand. And it can be very convincing that it thinks it knows what it's talking about and it doesn't, okay? So always fact check anything that ChatGPT throws your way. That's why I really like to use it for things that I already am an expert at for my brand. And if it throws something my way that I'm not, I'll go double check it, because it will make stuff up. A lawyer got in trouble for using it in one of his cases, and like it was a completely made up case. That was like one of the first stories we heard about ChatGPT. Yeah, that was not good. Also, it's not always the best is what I want to get across to you too, right? Like it'll dish up copy, sure, but like, as an opinions editor at the newspaper, I know what good copy looks like for the most part. And like, I edit every single thing ChatGPT throws my way still because it can be repetitive. It uses way too many emojis. Like it uses words like unlock, unleash, the power of, crucial, and like to the point where like you can spot ChatGPT copy very easily. So guys, actually my podcast episode this week for Authentic AI is about the 5 common tropes you should avoid that ChatGPT just always throws your way. But yeah, like it's not always the best. So don't believe that whatever it throws your way is the best answer, the best copy. And also it's not always the best for your brand or right for your brand, right? So even if it throws copy your way that's like, sounds good and it looks like a great blog post, but like it doesn't match your brand's opinions or viewpoints, then like that's not good, So like don't take it at its word and don't like use everything directly that it throws your way. Another golden rule for ChatGPT, and this is kind of more for prompting, when you go back and forth with it, it's called prompting. And it's to get specific with it and go back and forth with it or iterate with it, right? That's how you will get the best responses, if you can be as specific as possible. So I always go into ChatGPT and I'm like, here is my brand. Here is what we believe in. Here are some of our core content messages. Here is our ideal customers so that it knows who it's speaking to, right? And then I will kind of tell it like my specific ideas. You don't want to just say, generate 10 ideas for content marketing that I can turn into blog posts, like even that is not specific enough. You really want to get specific with what you're looking for out of it, and that's how you will get the best results of it. Think of it as like an intern or something like that. Think of it as like having to train an intern. Literally, that's the best. And then the first result that throws your way is not always the best. How I like to approach ChatGPT is to take it in like big picture and move in slowly or step by step kind of thing, right? So I'm not just going to go to it and say, write me a blog post. Like that's not going to get me the best results. I'm going to say, let's brainstorm SEO topics and keywords. Let's write an outline for this specific topic. And I'll also tell it what I think about the topic so that I can write a blog post in my own opinions and voice. Then I will have it write a blog post. Then I will even have it check the blog post after I've rewritten it. And I'm adding my own stuff and revising things the entire way. And that's really how you'll get the best stuff out of it, instead of having it just like give you the perfect response the first time, Use your brain and expertise. I've totally talked about this already, but bring your own expertise to it and use your critical thinking skills when it comes to the responses it gives you. And then know its limits and terms or policies, right? So one thing I don't think I've mentioned yet is that ChatGPT specifically cannot connect to the internet. Right? The free version of ChatGPT is not connected to the internet, and also its data is only up until 2022. So it doesn't have updated information if you're using the free version of ChatGPT. There are other things about the free version, like it can't handle a large word count and stuff like that.
I tried to get it to summarize because I have an author and he wanted some book cover ideas, and so I was kind of having it skim that, and it would not do that. And it wouldn't even, I don't even think it would read his back cover copy. I think it was like copyright something. But yeah, I put something else in there and it was like, we will not generate something for this. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I know. And they've done so many updates too. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. So the premium version of ChatGPT is pretty cool. It like it's only $20 a month, I'm pretty sure, unless they raised the price recently. But yeah, it's $20 a month. It can connect to the internet. You can use specific plugins that can do specific things. that are pretty cool. It does handle more words, which is awesome. You can do a short novel into it, apparently. And the cool thing too is you can upload files. So I upload my podcast transcripts and I have it turn that into blog posts and social media ideas and all these different things. I'll upload my client notes to my client call transcripts for like coaching and stuff. And it can give me insights and all the different stuff. I've gotten my client's consent every time too. That's important to remember, but just like different things that it can do is really cool. Yeah, and the file upload is available with the premium. Also, the premium can generate images. Every time I've used it so far, like it's never great for like brand photography image or something, but my authentic AI branding is kind of weird. Like I use like robot hands and like cats with robot eyes, so that's what I'm usually having it generate for me and stuff. I also had it generate like a feel-good social themed video game, like Minecraft style video game and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty. Did you make this with it? No, this is Canva. But yeah. Yeah, also very powerful. Oh, and Canva has a lot of AI features too. So if you guys are already using Canva for stuff, go in there, check it out. Canva actually, it has a lot of image stuff with AI tools, but it also has generative AI such as ChatGPT, and it's actually powered by ChatGPT. And I've heard from a few people that they like the Canva version better than the actual ChatGPT, which is interesting. Okay, so ways to use ChatGPT. So many. This is not all of them, guys. Use your imagination when it comes to using ChatGPT for whatever you need to use it for. But here are just a list of a few, 12. We do have a freebie on our website that's 30 game-changing ways to use ChatGPT. Game-changing is another word that it likes to throw out there that I didn't realize when I created the freebie, but whatever. But yeah, like content creation, email marketing, websites, podcasting, blogs and SEO, digital products, brainstorming, customer research. This is one of my favorite ways to use ChatGPT, is to get an ideal customer analysis and really get into the heads of my ideal customer. Ideation is freaking amazing. Event planning, selling, launching, and review and improvement, for whatever you need improved upon. But there's different things within each of these kind of categories that you can use it for too. For your website, you can have it like review your SEO if you wanted to. You can have it write catchy headlines. You can have it analyze one of your pages if you have the updated version where you can just share a link to your web page. You can have it like suggest improvements and stuff like that. Pretty cool like that. So there's a lot of different ways where you can use it. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking for your workflows. And then finally, just a few more tips to amplify your brand with AI instead of replacing it. I've touched on these throughout the entire presentation, but one of the best things you can do is to train ChatGPT on your brand persona as the very first step to using it for whatever, right? A lot of times people are like, ChatGPT doesn't sound like me, and or exactly what he said, like, well, it spit out this copy. I spent all this time writing a prompt and then it spit out this copy that didn't sound like me, so then I had to completely rewrite it and I wasted more time than if I would have just done it myself. It's so annoying. Like, if you can train ChatGPT on your brand persona, your voice, and your ideal customers first, then it will give you content ideas that make sense for your brand. Then it will write copy that sounds more like your brand. And it's just more strategic and like more human that way, right? I actually have a mini course for training ChatGPT on your brand persona that goes deep dives into 2 different methods for doing it. But basically what you want to do is just tell it as much as you can about your brand, right? So what does my brand believe in? What is our mission, our values, our vision, our kind of major content messages, right? Your brand opinions is really important because like I was saying, everyone has a different opinion on different things. So if you can tell it what you think about things, like for authentic AI and feel good social, I would never want ChatGPT to spit out like a bro marketing piece of content my way, because like that's not us, you know. So I've trained it on my brand, and it knows that. Yeah. But then also the other side of this coin, guys, is training on your ideal customers too, because especially if you're using it for copywriting and content, it's not just how it should speak, it's who it's speaking to is how you get the best results out of it. And there are 2 ways you can train ChatGPT on your brand voice specifically. One of the best ways is to feed it your own copy. If you already have a really great established brand voice and writing style, just give it your copy examples, ask it to analyze it, and then ask it to replicate the way that your brand speaks, your structure, your tone of voice, all the different stuff. But you can also describe your brand's voice, which is a little bit harder and requires some more tweaking, but it can be really fun too. And my mini course comes with like a library of different descriptor words for your brand voice. That was one of my favorites. But yeah, you can tell it like, speak like Taylor Swift, you know, or like all this different stuff, you know, use millennial language, like all the different things. I found that if you just say, please be friendly, it goes way overboard with the friendly. So you definitely want to like hone it better than that. Yeah, and bring your own opinions and ideas. Brain dump your opinions and ideas first into ChatGPT before you have it create content ideas for you, is the best way to use it. Revise your content. I have found when it comes to editing content and copy that ChatGPT throws my way, the best way to start is to get rid of the crap that doesn't feel like you, and then you'll have a piece, and that's just usually quick. Deleting the freaking rainbow emoji that I never use. Get that out of there, ChatGPT, you know. Changing the word crucial to important. Changing the word unlock to just discover or something like that, you know. Just to make it, making those little changes to make the copy sound a little bit more like you, whether it's those specific words, deleting times when it's repetitive in the stuff that throws your way, then that makes it easier to take a look at the copy and not feel like you have to do the full rewrite, right? And then finally, what I really want to leave you with is one of the best ways you can keep your brand authentic is sharing personal anecdotes and stories, whether that's your own personal anecdotes or your clients' stories. Storytelling is so powerful in marketing and branding, guys. That's a whole different conversation, but that is one thing that ChatGPT cannot know, is your own personal lived experience or the experience of your clients. And if you can share relatable stories mixed in with content that ChatGPT assists you with, then you can really still feel like an authentic brand. ChatGPT can help you write stories if you wanted to do that, but sharing that personal experience is super important to continue into the future if we want to be authentic. Okay, let's work together. So I just wanted to mention a few things that I have available if you guys want more support with anything. So I do have my 12 Essential Posts mini course, which is the course that Kira just took. It's more focused on like the 12 essential posts that you can create for your brand. And it's not really AI focused, but I do include ChatGPT prompts that you can use. But yeah, it's kind of those 12 really important messaging content strategy pieces that you need to create for your brand if you want to show up consistently and strategically on social. The brand persona for ChatGPT mini course, in less than an hour, I promise, less than an hour, it walks you through training ChatGPT on your brand persona and voice. Includes lots of prompts and that kind of like brand voice library that I was talking about. And then, I do offer BTS content creation days as well, which I really wanted to mention just because we have so many photographers in this group, and it's really, really fun for like weddings and stuff, or like daily event, or like kind of long day events if you want to capture BTS footage of yourself. It's mostly focusing on just kind of like the BTS video footage, like cell phone shots that you can share on like Instagram or TikTok or whatever that looks like. But that's
coming to my next mini session there, so
I know, I'm so excited.
Wait, so you would follow us around?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking of.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I do like 2 hours, half day or full day, and like, you know, you'll get like 100 videos of like, just like footage of you that you can use for social media and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, it started with my wedding planner client where I was like, girl, can you hire me to come follow you around? Because I was like, you need to send me the behind the scenes footage. And she's like, I don't have time. What are you talking about? So that's kind of where that was born and stuff. So, yeah.
This screen to our Facebook too?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, I'll share all my slides if you want me to.
Yeah, and especially this one.
Okay. Okay, guys. Sorry, I was like just talking forever, but it's time for the Q&A. So does anyone have any questions about AI? Yes. Yes, every conversation within ChatGPT is separate at this point, and it only has its own memory. So if you're using individual chats, it's really important to start the chat with like whatever you are looking for out of that chat conversation. Definitely tell it about your brand, your ideal customers, and like the goal of what you want and all that different stuff. But there is something called custom instructions, and this is in the settings panel, and it's like hidden, and no one really knows about it. And it is available on the free version and the paid version. So the custom instructions is a setting that's where you really should put your brand information. There's 2 boxes. One, it's like, tell me about yourself. That's where you talk about your brand and your ideal customers. And then the second box is like, how do you want me to respond? So that's where I put my brand voice information, yeah. I will say, guys, ChatGPT, I don't know if anyone has had issues with ChatGPT being sassy ever, or like telling, it can be a little finicky sometimes. So sometimes you have to remind it that, especially, if it's in the custom instructions, remind it, like, please use my whatever brand voice. And it'll do that. And also too, I have found that for Windows, for chats, where I'm definitely using it for copywriting, because some of them are just like more idea generation for me and stuff, where I'm specifically wanting it to write copy for me, I will train that window on my specific brand voice.
Go back to it.
Yeah, so that it has like my examples of like my writing, and like it's better, it produces better results that way.
You just say learn, and then learn my tone. What do you say? I have like specific prompts in like the mini course, but essentially what you're wanting to do is tell it all about your brand, tell it all about your ideal customers, and then I'll have it analyze multiple pieces of copy for like tone of voice, writing style. I'm trying to think of other ones. Emoji usage. That's important, right? Like lots of different things. If you're trying to train it without your own copy and stuff, because you're not a writer and stuff, totally okay. Then I kind of go back and forth with it using different descriptor words. Like I use down to earth is one that I use a lot with my brand voice. Conversational, straightforward, no fluff, I'll tell it. And it'll still include fluff, and I'll be like, no. But just going back and forth with it. Yeah, each conversation is saved, the free version, it doesn't allow you can go way longer in the conversation with the paid version. It's like a journal entry, right? Where it's like it saves it on your account.
Yeah.
It's not like a tab, right?
Pull it back up. But you can read it.
So I'm just wondering, like, if you spend a lot of time honing in with all of your copy and all of your examples and all of that, to have it create copy for you, but you said each individual window is its own conversation. So my question is, like, can you just come back to that existing window and keep going?
They're like saved over here, your different chats and stuff.
You can just go back to it.
And you can rename these chats and stuff. Mine is fully not organized at all in this screenshot. But like I'll say I have one that's like, AI, authentic AI blog series. That's where I've like honed my brand voice, and then also like use it to write my blogs for me. I have like podcasting ideas. I've created different like online courses or lead magnets or whatever, and each course has its own chat window.
You just title it.
Yeah.
You title it and like pop it over Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. And this is like, this is my ChatGPT Plus, but this is what the free version looks like too. It just doesn't include the option for the updated thing. But yeah, you can have like multiple chats and stuff, but like you said, it does get tired. The free version gets more tired. Does it still have like an hourly limit for messages you can send it?
Like 20 messages back and forth.
Overall? Okay.
Like it'll stop.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you'll have to just start a new chat.
Okay, interesting, yeah. It used to be like an hourly thing limit or something, but they probably did update that. ChatGPT or OpenAI is the company that owns it. It's like a billion dollar company now, and just 2 years ago it was only $1 million company. So it's really crazy how fast it's growing. But did anyone else have any questions at all? Yeah, the sentence structure is something you can tell it for sure. I'll tell it to be more straightforward, no fluff. A lot of times is what I'll say to it. But you can say like, use shorter sentences, or if I'm like writing like a storytelling caption, I'll say like make sure this like flows from like in a story that this is actually a tip for content creation and stuff. I'm a content creation nerd, so like if you guys don't feel comfortable with it, it's okay. But I'm fairly good at writing captions myself, but it still takes me a long time to like get there. And I found with ChatGPT, I like tell it what I want, it creates this draft for me, and then I can turn it into what I want really easily. But I will be like, okay, I want to write a relatable post for my ideal customer about X topic. Please start by empathizing with this emotion and this problem, and then flow into making this point, and then provide examples for, in bullet point form, and then end with a call to action that is like inspirational and, leads to X offer, right? Like that's how I will structure a prompt for my content, and tell it what I want the structure to be, and then that's how I get what I want. Yeah. Yeah, don't. I would love it if you said that, guys. ChatGPT can like understand stuff. Like really, it's crazy how like much it can understand. Another way to do it too that's really interesting is like give it like it's really awesome for training your brand voice to give it examples, but also for writing social media captions or blogs or whatever. Give it an example of the copy that you want. Put it in quotations. Tell it that you're given an example and say, please write something with this structure and this tone. So for example, for my podcast show notes, I use it. I have like a specific structure, and I use the star emoji instead of bullet points and stuff. And every time I have it write podcast show notes for me, I'll give it that. I'll say, please write podcast show notes for this episode and use this structure as a template. Just copy paste an old podcast show notes, because otherwise I will never get my podcast show notes formatted in the way I want it if I just try to describe it to ChatGPT. I'll use it similarly too for like, this is getting super nerdy with content and words and stuff, but it is really, really good at creating a long list of relatable experiences that your ideal customers could empathize with or relate to. I freaking love it for this. I'll say something like, finish this list, right? I'll create one. I just was doing this in an email yesterday. I was like, have you been struggling with AI, blah, 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 feeling frustrated that you can't, feeling overwhelmed with all the tools or whatever. I think that was the first one I used. And then I'm like, can you please finish this list for me, ChatGPT? And it created like 10 different like things that were all super relatable for my ideal customers. And I was just like, you're witty, ChatGPT. I love this. I feel witty right now, Yeah, like having it finish things for you, relating to ideal customers, relatable moments. I like that because sometimes it's hard for me to get into the head of my people who I'm trying to serve, when I'm like all up in my business, you know. I'm like, wait, how are they feeling? So that's nice, yeah. Any other questions, guys? Oh yeah, it can, guys, it can do anything, literally. I want you to bring your own expertise. Like, this is my favorite way for people to use AI. Oh, sorry. Is to like bring your own expertise to it. Are you the web designer who, okay,
I have a really crappy photography website that I need to vamp, and I'm like, I know. I was
There
like,
you
hello,
Hello. No, yeah, you can have it like, you can totally have it write the copy for you, but you can also have it suggest visuals, suggest a color palette, you know, different things like that. There are different plugins. Like, it actually has a Canva plugin, guys, and literally you can type into ChatGPT and it'll generate like an image for you right there through Canva. And that it'll generate a template for you that you can then click through and it's created in Canva for you. You can generate images in the premium. These are premium features. You can.
But, you know, I could go premium for a couple months, use all the things.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'll be hooked and I'll never want to go back.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll order it the next time, and it's like, you're back.
Oh,
so now it's $40.
There you go.
I mean, something interesting for photographers too is like, I don't know if you guys need help with this, but like brainstorming different like poses or different like positions, outfits, all that different stuff. It can help you with that.
I think for blogging, it would be really good.
Yeah.
Like, this was my experience at this session. Write me a, like, this is what I loved about the client, or like, because they say
Like case
1,000 words
study.
to get good SEO,
Mhm.
and I'm like, how am I gonna come up with 1,000 words? And so, but I can tell it what I'm just thinking, because I'm not a words person. So
Yeah.
I'll just be like, these are the basic things that, like, write me a blog post.
And
Mhm.
I've definitely given it like a word count when I've needed that,
That's
and it's been able to, like, I've plugged in a prompt like that about who I am, what my values are, and then been like, write this point from a point of view of me as a consultant rather than a service provider. Like how would I, and it's been able to give me 500 words on that I probably would have much more quickly for me to edit to what I wanted.
Totally. Yeah, guys, and like always remember too, just adjust your expectations. You know, a lot of people come to this and they're like, well, it wasn't perfect, you know, and it's not supposed to be perfect, like the stuff that it pushes out to you. In fact, it's becoming easier and easier these days to recognize AI generated copy, and so it's really important to revise it in a way, like however fits your brand, bring your own ideas and stuff. But yeah, you can use it for client emails, you can use it for, you know, if you have discovery calls, you could like, and you know, it depends on like privacy stuff and whatnot, but like you could like have it craft an email for you based on the transcript from the discovery call that's like sending a proposal over or something, or like help you generate a proposal. You can create data sets. I'm working on a new Authentic AI course now that's like talking about content creation with ChatGPT, and it's like generating full content calendars for you in like table format and stuff. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, and it can analyze, if you this is a great way to use it. If you guys have like data sets that you hate analyzing and you don't want to freaking analyze it, like SEO, Google stuff, you can throw that into ChatGPT and be like, tell me what's up with this. Like, always just remember too that it's not always right. Yeah, or a lawyer, yeah. But yeah, there's like lots of different ways to use it, and basically like the sky's the limit. Even visual things, you know, it can describe visuals or it can kind of generate visuals, and certain ways too, yeah. In the premium version, it can, yeah. Yeah, you can upload, I was trying to get it to like, so, I don't think I have my podcast cover is like AI robot lady that I generated with, and like I was trying to get it to describe my brand's like tone of voice, and it's like old school Star Wars mixed with like boss lady futuristic glam. It's like, yeah, that's me. For my authentic AI brand, I guess.
I would love to know from anybody, not even.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, Canva's AI is really great for a lot of different things. And I haven't played. Yeah. And I'm not sure. Yeah, do you have the paid version?
I do, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, check it out. And it does have generative like copywriting AI, and you can put your brand voice into it, which is cool. And it also has just like tons of new AI features like visuals or like podcasting. Like it can generate, like little people who can like walk through your presentation for you with like voiceovers and like lots of different things. It does have an image generator in Canva too. That's how I created my, you probably won't be able to see it very well, but my little robot hand. Yeah, my robot hand. That was Canva. It's C3PO, I know that, and that was like early Canva AI. Like it's gotten way better. Yeah, it's gotten way better than that, but yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah, I would love to hear any takeaways or ways that you guys are thinking about using AI or anything. Yeah, if you do have the premium version, you can upload a file. So you could upload your image if you wanted to do that. Or you could just kind of describe the image in a way if you wanted to do that. And it's funny, I'll share this training with you guys. I just literally this morning gave a training on writing blogs with ChatGPT. And I use 5 steps, and I ask ChatGPT to suggest visuals that would go along with the brand and suggest alt text with those visuals. But it just kind of depends on like how you want to go back and forth with it. At this point, like ChatGPT specifically can't like plug into your website and create your blog post for you in your website. I feel like there's plugins coming for that. I'm waiting for Squarespace to create one. But so there's going to be some copy pasting back and forth. But there are plugins for specific, like other software such as like Notion has a plugin where it can literally go in and edit your Notion boards for you. With ChatGPT, and you can use Zapier if you guys have ever heard of Zapier for like different things. So there's a Zap that like connects with ChatGPT and Google Gmail, and it will read your emails and have ChatGPT draft up a draft response. So you don't have to have it send the email without you checking over it. But yeah, it'll like, you can automate that to have ChatGPT read your emails, draft a response, then it's in your Gmail already, and all you'll have to do is like edit it and hit send and stuff. Like there's lots of different automations, and that's kind of why I was like in the beginning pushing home, don't be overwhelmed, guys. Like there's a lot of potential, but really just figuring out how to use it for you, yeah.
There's like I think a LinkedIn sales component too that does that.
Oh, really?
Manages the
Cool.
contacts, and also like, well, it'll read the email and say, this person, do you want me to draft an email, and it'll like respond to their email.
Yeah.
The whole chain.
Yeah.
Summarize.
That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of tools have built-in AI now, like pretty much every tool is like adding some sort of AI component. Yeah, and I just kind of like go using ChatGPT for like my go-to. It's just what I'm used to, but you can utilize AI tools. If anyone does like video editing or podcast editing, Descript is one that I use, and it has an AI tool already within it that you can ask AI to edit your show, and then you can also ask AI to generate clips, to generate show notes, blog posts, different social media quotes, within the video editing software, which is kind of cool too. Okay. I've dabbled a little bit in Bard / Gemini. I stick to ChatGPT mostly just because like I'm paying for it and like it's like the OG in a way, but it's pretty good. I would say just like test out a few and see what you like better. Some people swear by Bard and Gemini. I had one person tell me that they liked this one called Claude. And okay, the one time I used Claude, it was like overly worried about being polite and like politically correct and stuff. I was like, and it was like, that's what sets me apart. I was like, what makes you different than ChatGPT, Claude? It's like, because I like care about, you know, being fully inclusive. And I was like, I get it, but you know, it wasn't giving me the copy that I wanted, so. Yeah. But yeah, Bard is great, and I'm pretty sure that it's just like the free version allows you to connect to the internet already. Also, another interesting thing, and I don't know, things change so quickly in the AI world. This was like last summer that I heard someone say this. ChatGPT can't analyze your Instagram account, even with the free version that connects to the internet, which is annoying to me as one of those social media people, because of Instagram's API. But I heard Bard can, but I don't know if it's been updated lately. But people have it analyze their Instagram accounts and content and be like, what am I missing here? Or, you know, like what are the most like popular topics that I've talked about and stuff. Hopefully that's still available. It might have changed, yeah. Yeah, any other questions or anything? Yeah. What CRM do you use?
I don't right now.
Oh.
Honeybook, I know
Okay.
is like super, like
They have some AI stuff.
Do they have AI integration?
Yeah, like it'll be like, it'll see a response. I'll see an email come in and then they'll ask me if I want to use AI to write back, basically. Like,
Okay.
do you want us to draft an email and you can change it? I have all my canned responses that I have already saved.
Already.
But I do
Yeah,
wonder.
I'm wondering if it could help you write the canned responses that you didn't say.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
or even like help me come up with a workflow for like when a client I kind of want that
inquires,
to
and at
just
least
like
I'll do
create a
without
workflow
having-
for me.
It can, yeah. You can definitely like ask ChatGPT for that, and you can like then implement that. You might be able to do different software have different AI integrations, and also always check Zapier, because like Zapier is awesome for connecting different tools and automation and stuff. And so I feel like there probably is like a Zap for Honeybook and ChatGPT. Now I'm like geeking out about that. I'm gonna go look it up. But yeah, a lot of people manage clients in Notion too, is another one to think about. I mean, it doesn't do like proposals and things like that, but like if you want a client like interface, I've heard a lot of designers and photographers use Notion for that and stuff. Yeah, I mean, okay, here, I love this conversation too. Like, and also too, it's so relevant to every industry almost. Like, they're using AI technology in everything these days, and it's and it is a concern, you know. I think that the best thing, okay, here's the ultimate perspective, is that if you're not an expert at the things that you're having AI do, you don't know if it's correct. It's probably not going to be done in the best way. And so like whatever you are an expert in your field, whether it's systems, copywriting, like photography, you know, you guys could be scared of people, like people not getting headshots and stuff. But like if a normal Joe Schmo goes and tries to get this tool to like create this thing for them, they're not going to know what it's talking about. They're not going to know if it's right or working. It's probably not going to be the best, you know. And so I always encourage any expert who's like afraid of an AI taking their job is to, you know, your job might evolve, and that's why it's important to get curious about AI technology now and think, how can I bring my expertise to this? How can I use these tools in my own workflow? Copywriters are still a little bit like nervous to tell their clients like, should I tell them? I'm like might use ChatGPT to assist me in their copywriting, but it's becoming more and more normal to claim it and be like, yeah, you know, same thing with photography. You guys were just talking about like, you know, using AI for edits and stuff. It's like, ooh, is my client gonna think that's weird? You know?
I had a client of mine that you can post your like Gemini. I don't know what it is. You can post a selfie and then it'll make corporate headshots.
Mhm.
And I'm like, cool. Like I had a client that did that with her own selfies, but I still take her pictures from time to time, and she still cares about reality. Like, and it's not it's just another tool for them to use. But I don't feel like we're going to be obsolete.
Yeah.
Unless you're.
And she is in the mortgage lending business. And could she get a website created for her or a logo created for her? Sure, but first she would have to know what to ask it, how to ask it, like all the other things to include. Otherwise, she's going to be in the exact same. So really, what it's done for me is it's just increased how quickly I can turn something around for someone. But a lot of my clients
Which is
don't
more
know
value.
what to put into it to begin with.
They don't know what they don't know.
And I'm sorry, but most of the clients that you have like don't have time to do what you do, and or they want personal assistance, the human touch, you know, like people don't have time to write their own copy, and or they don't have time. You know how much time you can waste getting ChatGPT to try to write copy for you. So usually if you do have any clients like that, they're going to come back and be like, can you help me? Or for the headshot thing, it's like, okay, well, you know, you like, it's, I don't know, it is something that you want to think about as a photographer, and like, are headshots your most valuable thing that you're offering? Like, you know, I don't know. And also, how can you evolve with AI and start integrating AI into your stuff? Maybe you offer your client a few AI generated headshots as photographers and just cut to the chase there. It's also, I think.
Don't fight it. It's gonna happen. Don't fight it. Like use it.
Or I think it puts like so much emphasis on experience of like
The experience.
like not just
And
putting a mountain behind you, but like, oh, you were at that mountain, like wonderful.
Exactly.
I love that. Oh, something to think about too is incorporating AI stuff into your own like policies and things like that. And it just popped up for me as a photographer. Like, do you want your clients to use your photos with AI technology? Something to think about, you know, like just different things when it comes to that.
Add something?
Yeah.
So to kind of expand on that conversation from what I've seen in my own business is that I have lost clients to Descript, the podcasting AI that we were talking about earlier. But I will also say that Descript has lost clients to me. That I've had people reach out to me.
And that's me. I hired her.
They have said, you know, I didn't realize the value until I was seeing the gaps in AI. And so I think that it is one of those things where it can, if you let it work with you and you kind of lean into it and, you know, steer into the slide, that you can use it to show the shortcomings in your industry, whether it's because I've seen the headshots. We've all seen the headshots.
They're not always good.
I've seen like hot.
It's weird.
It's weird. I really thought she had so much. This one lady I'm thinking of, I thought she had full blown plastic surgery.
I've seen one set that's good. I don't know what program she used, but I've seen one that's good, and then everything else is like, this is very fake looking.
And so it's just
I
like,
think some other body.
it's the same for me with podcasting that I can hear when they're AI edited. And, you know, so it's one of those things where
I used an AI tool the other day.
Oh, what is it?
Oh yeah, here's my high school photos. I was like, what are you doing? Oh yeah, this one was like horrible, like a stick.
It's kind of vibey.
Oh yeah, what's this? Like, I know. I was like, what is happening? Guys, this is all the same tool too. I was like, some of them are okay, and some of them are like horrible. I know this. It just downloaded every single one to my phone too. I was like, oh my gosh. This was the best one. I was like, what is happening here? So yeah, AI tools, don't worry, they're not gonna take your job yet.
I will say for the challenge. What is this? No, I don't know.
The one industry that I was like having like maybe a little bit concerned about, but I had a girl reach out and was like, I'm trying to become a private photo editor, like can I edit a bunch of your photos and I was like, ooh, I found Imagine AI if you guys have heard of that.
Yeah. There are in my
And I'm
ear.
like, that is what I would hire a private photo editor for. I'm still gonna have to do skin retouches. I'm still gonna have to do my own tweaks, like at the end, because they're not me.
But now you can be a photographer and learn how to edit.
But also, like, people who don't know about this and will continue to pay the private editor because they don't know any better, for a while.
That's true.
But it is one of those things too that like them as entrepreneurs, like we always have to like
But yeah, you need
innovate
to consider.
and evolve, like you said, and come up with like ways to make us stand out. And so it's kind of like an interesting challenge too to just see where it
Yeah.
Well, like you're saying, Ellie, I think it's gonna become the new like farm to table. That, like, you know, brands will be like proud to say that they use no AI. But I think that there's gonna always be a pocket of, for any industry, there's gonna be people who are super on board and people who are super off board.
And I also think it's gonna depend on where they are in their business journey, because at some point your time becomes worth actual money, and you're not gonna want to DIY this stuff anymore, and so you don't actually care if someone else is using AI for it, as long as you don't have to do it. And I also think it's really important for business owners to consider, okay, there is this private or this Imagine AI thing out there. So what can I offer to someone from a client experience that's going to entice them to want to pay me to do it versus
like
that
social media
free
management 10 years
thing.
ago.
Yeah.
Like everyone can use Facebook. We can still all use Facebook, but as an industry,
really, really badly.
and that's why it's an industry.
That's a really good point.
And so what can you add to the whole entire client experience that again makes it worth them coming back to you?
Are you working with some younger people who are getting very good at working with AI, but then are not capable of working without it? So I'm thinking about the team dynamic. You know, when you're working with people who, for one reason or another, they're not capable of doing anything other than putting something into AI, and you're trying to do something that's actually human. And it's becoming obvious to people who are aware of was AI results. And I'm not sure if you had that, and you're starting to see some people that you're like, well, you don't actually write very well in terms of actual completing your own thoughts, but you prompt very well.
Oh yeah.
Trying to work with you as a team.
Prompt engineers. It's a whole new industry. But you know, I would say as a team too, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and it's really, really important to train your team on how to use AI tools in the right way, if that's something that they're doing, right?
And maybe without AI, possibly.
Possibly. I mean, they'll be a little bit more efficient maybe with AI and stuff, and or like you can say, this is the quality of work I'm looking for. Sorry.
But that is something that my husband and I have talked about extensively. He is a former 8th grade teacher. I taught kindergarten and all the primary grades for a little while. And I do think the way that this works really well is you have to know how to do it yourself. You have to be an expert at it first to be able to tell if it's producing something that is quality or not. And so it kind of freaks me out how much they're starting to use it in schools, or whether students are supposed to or not, because I think that they need to learn those skills first before they can utilize it to make it themselves even faster. But
Or even their own thoughts. Like you're saying, like if there is something, it isn't completely artificial. There is somebody, it's pre-designed, it's pre-prompted. So somebody somewhere is creating a subtle narrative, and whatever tools we end up using that say, I can't think of what I want to say, so what do I want to say? And then you get led down a certain path.
Yeah, I know that like goes into kind of the plagiarism thing. So here's the thing about like the plagiarism with the AI stuff is that it's not ever just going to be one person or like it is like all this different stuff coming together and generated together, and so it's like not really plagiarized as much, but it doesn't come up with original ideas for sure. And so it can only kind of ideate off of what you give it and or what's on the internet and stuff. But yeah, it's scary. I feel like that's kind of why I'm always like pushing like critical thinking, you know, revision. For me as like an opinions editor at the newspaper, I was like revising freaking copy all day, every day. I do that for my clients with social media and stuff too. And like, Kira knows. Yeah, I was.
I will pay you because like even with your prompts, like it did pretty good, but you know my sense is like 2 times too long. Whenever Kinsey like rewrites it for me, I'm like, I sound awesome.
I think editing is going to be a really much needed skill set. You know, not like definitely writing, definitely understanding like like what is good copy, what does that look like, and also understanding how to look at a piece of copy and think like what is the point of this, and like and is this sentence structure making sense, is it like all that different stuff is really a much needed skill moving forward. And I think that like interns should be trained on that if they're using ChatGPT, and just like how to do quick edits, and also having a brand guide for your interns who are like using this stuff and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, I know I'm kind of afraid of the next generation and what's gonna happen.
But you also think too that the way that we're taught how to write in public school is nothing like how you should write as a copywriter. And so if you can evolve that, I mean, I like to remain hopeful.
I get so annoyed with people who still in 2024, and I'm so sorry if this is any of you, but like, you know, the people who like insist on using like college term paper writing in emails and stuff, and I love you guys if you do that, but like it's hard. Like it doesn't have to be that way, you know. Another thing I just wanted to bring up real quick too is there is concern about people thinking that copy was AI generated when it wasn't. So ChatGPT will lie to you and tell you that something was AI generated when it wasn't, if you would just like write it. Copywriters have gotten in trouble for that. I just read an article, this poor woman, researcher, just published her like big paper that she spent years researching and stuff, and her school like denied it because they said it was AI generated, and she's like, now I have to go back in and prove, show my notes, you know, and like she doesn't even know if that's gonna work because they ran it through AI tools that said it was AI generated. And it's like, no, like, and so there's gonna be lots of interesting things when it comes to that sort of thing too. Just something to be aware of too. Yeah.
I want the mini course, so I know that's something we'll want to check out.
Awesome. Yay. Thanks, guys.